War in Iran could drive oil prices to $300 a barrel, according to Iraq's foreign minister. That's about 5 times higher than today, implying $12 gasoline and 10% inflation. So will it happen? The first point is Iraq's government is sympathetic to Iran. Yes, we spent $1 trillion giving Iraq to Iran. So they want to hype oil price Armageddon to scare Donald Trump. But even in the real world, J.P. Morgan estimates an actual war in Iran could double oil prices to $130 per barrel, which would imply $5 gasoline and 5% inflation. Deutsche Bank and Mizuho are also around 120 to 150. The only way it gets remotely close to 300 is if there is a total blockade of the Persian Gulf. Now, this is possible in theory. The Gulf has a tiny 6-mile-wide shipping lane on Iran's coast, the Strait of Hormuz, 6 miles being roughly the Hudson River in New York. Still, Israel is apparently very good at neutralizing threats, while even scuttled ships can be moved in a week or two if 300 oil is the alternative. Having said whether it's 130 or 300, a ground war in Iran would be a big hit to oil prices. How big? There are 2 ways to look at it: flows of oil and prices of oil. These are different because even if your country doesn't use Persian Gulf oil, world markets are fungible. Oil moves around, meaning a shortage in one place drives up prices every place. So in terms of flow, almost all Persian Gulf oil goes to Asia and Europe. So losing that supply does nothing to America. We just buy more Texan. It isn't catastrophic to Europe either. Persian Gulf oil is just 6% of their oil supply. So the main victim is China, who imports 10 times more Persian Gulf oil than America does, making up 1/3 of all the oil China uses, with very few untapped domestic sources. The rest of Asia is similar, so India, Korea, Japan, Singapore are all almost totally reliant on the Persian Gulf. So a blockade is a big deal for China and Asia, but it is not our problem. What is our problem is prices. Even $130 oil would wipe out Trump's inflation wins, bringing inflation back up to 4 or 5% if it lasts. Now, given the Fed is already using tariffs as an excuse for higher rates, $130 oil pushes them to hike even more, strangling the economy and Trump. Now, so far, even 130 is unlikely. Since Israel started bombing Iran, world oil prices have only moved $5 to 72 a barrel, meaning markets do not expect a wider war in Iran. Rather, more of what we're seeing, surgical bombings and surgical assassinations to destabilize the regime. None of those have a major impact on oil, especially considering that oil exports are the only thing paying the soldiers in Iran. As in, the more vulnerable the Iranian regime, the less likely they want to blockade. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Iran's proxies will talk up oil prices, but so long as the war remains surgical, we will not see life-changing oil prices. Of course, if that changes to American boots on the ground, a whole lot of things will get messy from oil to financial markets, enough that it could completely derail Trump's boom. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.